One thing they teach you at ayahuasca is that you should keep your personal stories to yourself so that you don't leak out energy. Because if people listen to your stories and let's say don't believe you, or even because you're out there now, the energy can come at you from different people. You did a video, anybody can watch it. Good luck with whatever energy is coming your way. But I do want to talk about an experience I had. And that experience is the first time I met God in a psychedelic kind of different state of experience or mind, or whatever experience. And it was incredible. I'm just gonna like where it got me and how I got there. The first thing it did, the medicine, is it brought me to a space where I was everything and everything is one. And the only thing that I tend to say in that space when I get there is I am, I am. And I realized at that moment when it brought me there, because I had been there before, that I was uncomfortable in a way. Like there was an angst that was always there about just existence. The idea of existing feels like a prison, feels like I'm generating energy for an overlord, and I'm the one generating, doing the experience to generate, and they get the love and the energy from it, and they get to feed, whatever, like as if I'm part of a bigger system. So I get to that space and I'm everything, and I see that angst, and I realize that the only way to get out of here is to really understand that even if I would be there for eternity in that space, like where you're everything, in order to be comfortable with myself and my ultimate being, then so be it. Because there was no time there. It was weird. It was like every moment was 1,000 years, and it was so. When I realized that, I'm like, cool. I'll stay here. I'll observe you, whatever, everything I was, which is everything, and everything was me. And I stayed there, and I let it go. I let go of the awareness of even myself, and I accepted everything that I am. And I fell backward into a nebula, like purple, pink. I never had that experience before, like seeing visuals, like even though it was like I was gone, like I was in that space and I was with the stars, and it was the hands of the Great Mother was holding me, and there was the universe, and it was just carrying me through beauty and pure bliss of the idea of having surrendered and accepted myself fully in that moment, in that space. And I was being carried, and I got into a room, a white room, full white, like as white, like it was more than white. And God was sitting on a throne of white marble. It didn't even seem comfortable. It was like very straight, and he was just looking in that direction. So I was going forward towards him, and I could see him looking in that direction to other lights that were in front of him. And each one of these lights was celebrating God, which was in front of them, with all their being, like fully, like their authentic self. Like even though they were light, when I would look at them, I could see their shape and their form. Like one of them was like a big black man that was like singing and the glory of God, and there was another woman just weeping, like just weeping um, by the glory of God, and everybody had that, and I was amazed at what I was experiencing, what I was seeing. So the universe, Mother, was bringing me forward and forward and forward, and then she got so close to him that she put me inside of him. And when I got inside of him, like I saw a big tunnel, like as if like a big circular thing of light that was going big all the way up to the universe and all the way down, and it was massive, and that was kind of like God. And when I got in there, it was so big and it was so massive that I was like, I don't want to be God, I want to be a soul. It's not like I made a decision to be a soul, as if like I was letting go of my hedonistic way of looking at life as if I owned life. And so anyways, and when I made that decision very quickly, because I thought I was going to explode with the love that I would, like, it was so vast and so big, it was so, the energy was so big, you could call it love, but it was like the purest of energy, and it wanted, like, I was going to explode. And I'm like, I want to be a soul. I don't want to be God, I want to be a soul. And right away I was put in front of him, and God was holding me, and he and it was holding me. It was weird because his hands were down, even though he was holding me. I still felt held, and I could look in his face, just a little bit tilted high, and I could stare at his face, no problem. It was not intimidating, and I could see his face changing all the time, and I could see my face in there, and like I knew that we were the same, but I chose to experience while he sits there in meditation, that room, for all of us to exist and to survive. Like, he's necessary to for him to stay there, to be there. And that's what we all do. We all create this one. It's us. But we're here and we're separate, and we get to experience through our scars and our trauma in a somewhat linear way, but not. And yeah, I wanted to share that story. It was a beautiful story, and then I was just crying, feeling love for the first time in my life, seeing God, looking at his face as it was changing, and being amazed that like my soul feels like it's still in that room, praising God in its own crazy way. I'm a screamer. I like I would go, like I see myself going from light to light, and seeing their joy at seeing God, and being like, how cool that is, and just my way of loving fully in this room. And when I said to myself that I want to be a soul, I don't want to be God, and I was held, and I went in front of him, and he was holding me, it's like the room got brighter, but it was impossible. Like, it was so bright to begin with, but every soul that gets there, and that is, anyways, for me, in my awareness, it's a party. It's a praise Lord, and he's right there, and we get to love with all of our intensity as long as we want, and let it out. It's like a place of just, thank you, God, is what I have to say. Thank you, God. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, spirits and ancestors, for having had that experience in this life, and what a blessing, and how, thank you for guiding my way into daily decisions and motivations. Love you, God.